tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Thursday, here it is. Here we are. Yep. Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to try and get up a little bit earlier. Just a little bit earlier. Got up an hour. Actually, I got up an hour and a half earlier. But that's because I had a text message that kind of made my mind going. I got up. I don't feel less rested, so I think I'm going to start setting an alarm, get up a little bit earlier, add some time to my day so I can get a little bit more done. All right. Now, there's nothing wrong with doing this stuff and doing it in little chunks, little pieces, man. I'm looking up our jokes. All right, we'll just do that there. It's ready. Okay. But yeah, life can be a little bit easier when we divide things up. Even this morning, I was already, I don't know, the fucking social media, man. God, just it irritates the hell out of me. I'm not going to talk about it. If I need to 10-step it, I'll get in touch with somebody. So the point is, so, and I've been doing real good staying off social media lately. I'll be on Instagram, but I'm only watching like Breaking Bad videos, Golden Girls, Seinfeld clips. I'm watching funny clips, stand-up comedians. I don't really have that much recovery stuff on my Instagram. But sometimes you get on Facebook, you just start doom scrolling, and that's not good for anybody, man. That's I would not recommend doom scrolling. I find myself caught up in that. It looks like chat is not working again. Oh, there it is. Okay. It did pop up. It's just okay. Yeah, somebody was here. I knew that. So hi Amber, good morning. Thanks for showing up. I know I usually do this at 11, so but my day got disrupted a little bit. We're gonna have some justice this afternoon. Somebody did something wrong to one of my children, and yeah, they got woken up at 2:00 this morning and drug into jail. So I'm gonna show up to his bond hearing. Yeah. Nah, my kid's gonna be there too. So it's a virtual one, so that makes it a lot easier. So anyway, these are the things that we get to do, though, right? The fact that my child even trusted me with this is a big deal for us. So don't give up. Sometimes life is just gonna feel just fucked up. Don't give up. Don't give up on yourself, man. I've been running into a lot of people lately that are feeling very, very hopeless. And man, sometimes being on the front lines is it's really fucking hard. But God seems to bring me as broken and downtrodden and beaten, and yeah, I do believe that God sends his people to us. And I try and keep an eye out. It's the emotional leech is one that you got to kind of watch for. All right. So, what time is it? What time is it? It's time for the funnies, Dion's Daily Funnies. We're going with dad jokes again today. It takes guts to be an organ donor. We're going with puns today. I like puns. Puns are fun. Tons and tons of pun fun, right? If you see a crime at an Apple store, does that make you an eyewitness? Good morning, Claire. Good to see you. Serenity suckers. Yeah, there you go. That's a much better. I actually prefer that one. It's more fun today to say. Like the person that gets our speakers, we call them the speaker seeker. That's a fun one too, right? Serenity suckers. Okay, next joke. I'm so good at sleeping, I can do it with my eyes closed. Lord knows I'm good at that. All right. Oh, happy birthday, Michelle. Happy birthday, my fellow. Well, you're Libra. You're on that cusp. You're like Virgo Libra. Yeah, 65, I don't lie. I was going to tell a time traveling joke, but you guys didn't like it. We're going to do just a couple more. These are kind of short. So, what did the vet say to the cat? How you feline? That wasn't as good. One more. What do you call a lazy baby kangaroo? A pouch potato. All right. Sooner or later, I'll have music and all kinds of stuff for that stuff. Yesterday, I found out that Podbean has been putting ads in front of and I opted in. I did it. It was on me. I did it. I'm the one that pressed the button. I didn't realize really what I was doing, but it was me. Right. I'm like listening because I'm putting together the website. And I'm like, what is this State Farm commercial doing on my podcast? And I write them. They're like, yeah, we run ads on there. And at the moment, we owe you $2.85. So yeah. It took me 7 years to make $2.85, but we did it, folks. They don't pay out till it hits 20. So I'm going to remove them. Just kind of a funny thing that happened to me yesterday, Right. Nobody's even said anything. So I bet if I take those down, I'll be like, now without commercials. Listen to the Daily Trudge on Podbean without commercials. I just use it to my advantage, right? All right. Let's get started. First things first. So what we're talking about today. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. Maybe one day, yesterday there was talk of maybe one day my daughter will take over for me. Yeah, I mean, if that's what it becomes, I'm all for it. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. We're going to be in the big book today, around page 98. And so let's go there, where I'm working with others. So we're, you know me. We're going to go back a little bit. We're going to go back a little bit. We're going to start on the bottom of page 96 is where I would like to start. First things first, what we're trying to get to is some of us have taken very hard knocks to learn this truth. But what truth are we talking about? Let's find out. So in this part of the big book, we're talking about working with others. This is the system that we use when we're working with somebody else. There's a lot of suggestions in here. Remember, times have changed a little bit, so the process may be a little different, but the process being that We usually don't let people detox in our own homes. Detox is in the hospital is a better place for that. Um, so, things like that. We now have treatment centers. We don't really keep alcohol to carry green recruits to we don't do that anymore. We have professionals that help us with that. The detoxing from alcohol can kill you. So don't take on that responsibility. Okay. Now I have helped some people detox before. I have. Okay. But I've also been trained on how to work detox. I know what to look for. And I know when it gets to a certain point if we need the hospital. So, yeah. Mostly has to do with blood pressure, eyeballs, tongue, right? And then the other trick is you have people hold out their hands and spread their fingers, right? Anyway, but don't take that. Don't do the chance. No, not unless you've been. Anyway, let's get to this. He may be broken homeless. If he is, you might try to get him help about getting a job or give him a little bit of financial assistance. Okay, now again, we have programs for this. There are a lot of programs out there for this type of stuff now. Okay, resources, but every now and then you might bring somebody into your home that just got out of treatment or something. You're trying to help them out. It still happens. Yeah, it does. Not necessarily in the virtual world, not necessarily in Zoom, but in person meetings, we have AA meetings at treatment centers. And that's usually where they meet these people. And, sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But you should not deprive your family or creditors of money they should have. Perhaps you want to take the man into your home for a few days, but be sure you use discretion. Be certain he is welcomed by your family and that he is not trying to impose upon you for money, connection, or shelter. Permit that and you will only harm him. All right. You'll know. Right? Because if you have a person that requires little to no help, then you're working with somebody that's a little bit more, or you give them direction, they're following it, but they're not coming to you all day. Hey, can I bum a cigarette? Hey, can I have this? Hey, can I have... Now that's something a little different where they want to sit around and talk all day, but there's no action, right? Things like this. Now, and make sure that your family's okay with it too. Family, in this case, the family has got to come first. Okay. You'll be making it possible for him to be insincere. You'll be aiding in his destruction rather than his recovery. Yet it can be tough. It can be tough because we want to help. And even alcoholics will fall into the fallacy of thinking they can get other people sober. And it's a fallacy. It's not going to work. I couldn't even get me sober. There's a song by Stabbing Westward. It's called Save Yourself. And a lot of the lines are like, I cannot save you. I can't even save myself. He's talking about going to God and asking for help is what he's talking about, even though it sounds like a really tough, hard song. So as an alcoholic, I know, at least me, not all alcoholics, but a lot of alcoholics have codependency issues. I know I do. So I have to be careful on which way I step. So what's a good way to do it? Well, you got a sponsor, you got closed mouth friends, you got a higher power in your life. Go to these places for direction. Yeah. And we usually try not to do this stuff alone either. All right. Never avoid these responsibilities, but be sure you are doing the right thing if you assume them. Helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. A kindly act once in a while isn't enough. You have to act the good Samaritan every day if need be. It may mean the loss of many nights' sleep, great interference with your pleasures, interruptions to your business. It's mostly what it's going to be now is interruptions. That 2:00 morning phone call, somebody calling you at 6, 7 o'clock and keep you on the phone till 10 o'clock because they're going through stuff. Getting up, having to go somewhere, taking somebody detox, going and picking somebody up from detox. These are things that we still do. Right? There's a program with AA called Bridge the Gap. So if you want to help people, and what you do is you just pick them up from treatment and take them to wherever they're going. That's all you do. It's just a nice service work. Now they say this is very hands off, but I'm not going to pick somebody up and be very hands off. I'm sorry, I'm not. I'm going to sit there and talk to them and see if I can help them. I'm not going to. That's not going to happen. If I have a chance to be helpful, I'm going to do it. Hands off. Okay. Now, it may mean sharing your money in your home, counseling frantic wives and relatives, innumerable trips to police courts, sanitariums, hospital, jails, and asylums. Your telephone may jangle at any time, day or night. Your wife may sometimes say she is neglected. A drunk may smash your furniture in your home or burn a mattress. You may have to fight with him if he is violent. Sometimes you will have to call a doctor and administer sedatives under his direction. Another time you may have to send for the police or an ambulance. Occasionally, we will have to meet such conditions. It might. Like I said, a lot of this doesn't really happen as much because we have other pathways and resources, right? But occasionally, I've done all of this. I haven't had a drunk smash my furniture, burn or burn a mattress. I have had to call the police or an ambulance sometimes. When I was in the Phoenix concept, I had to do that. Absolutely. Claire says, I love Bridge Gap. Does some of that my first year. I don't think I'll do another 12-step call for a while. We seldom allow an alcoholic to live in our homes for a long time. It is not good for him, and it sometimes creates serious complications in the family. Your best bet is a contract. Reasonable expectations. Hey, you can stay here for 2 weeks. Let's get a plan together so we can make sure, we can get you housing and see if we can't get about getting a job. Maybe it's a month, but there's got to be a time limit, and it's got to be brought up in the beginning. Refreshing. Though an alcoholic does not respond, there is no reason why you should neglect his family. Now, we don't really have much contact with the family anymore. That's why detox is important. Because here's the thing. This is how it used, I don't want to say this is how it used to be, so we can go back to the good old days, but there's a way it works and there's a way it doesn't. Right? So what we're doing with some of these new detoxes that are opening up, let's say a husband is dropping off a wife or a significant other, maybe it's a son, but a relative is dropping off another relative. Well, the person doing the dropping off is going to be approached also and asked, do you need resources? Do you need help? What can we do for you? Because it's a family disease. So what resource? Because what we don't want is that person getting out of detox and going back to the same thing that they were in. We need to help change that. And we have great programs for people in the family. We have Al-Anon, we have Alateen, we have ACA. These are fantastic family programs. And there are other programs out there too. Craft is a really good program. Now I prefer the other ones because there's no real leader. In Craft, you have a trainer, they're being paid, but it still works. It still works very, very well. So these people are going to be approached saying, what can we do? Because they need help too. They need assistance too. They need somebody to talk to. And that may even be just, if I had somebody that I could talk to that understands, that would help. We can do that. I'm right here. Okay. The family should be offered your way of life should they accept it and practice spiritual matters. There's a much better chance that the head of the family will recover. And even though he continues to drink, the family will find life more bearable. Yeah, see, when the alcoholic sees the family moving into another area, they might get sober. You increase their chances because they don't want to feel like they're being left behind. Yeah, they don't want to feel that way. It works. It's a very subtle way of getting an alcoholic to get sober. All right. For the type of alcoholic who is able and willing to get well, little charity in the ordinary sense of the word is needed or wanted. The men who cry out for money and shelter before a conquering alcohol are on the wrong track. Yet we do go to great extremes to provide each other with these very things when such action is warranted. This may seem inconsistent, but we think it is not. Hmm. All right. You know what? This kind of how I work it. Right. Actually, I've utilized Amber a few times for some things. Right. She did a photo shoot for me, and I paid her for it because see, I knew that she was a photographer, and I wanted to keep the money in the family, and I felt comfortable with her. Right. So we keep it in the family. I'm looking for a plumber, but I want somebody in the program so I can keep it in the family. We do this stuff often. We do. We share our resources. We refer to each other so that we can all kind of make it if we can. All right. Not only that, but there's a trust factor there, right? Yeah. We help each other find jobs and get Medicaid and look for doctors and all that kind of stuff. Sure. Uh, Not always. It's not often, but I do. Uh, I'm always helping people find therapy. All right. So then it goes on to say it is not a matter of giving that is in question, but when and how to give. It is. And this is why we need to know our stuff. Yeah. It's when and how to give. And you'll know it. The key is your intuition. Listen to your intuition in this case. You will know. You may not want to believe your intuition, but do it anyway. Okay. That often makes the difference between failure and success. The minute we put our work on a service plane, the alcoholic commences to rely upon our assistance rather than upon God. Now, here's that fine line of money. Not all payment is money. It could be clout. It could be bragging. See, if I'm sitting down with an alcoholic, even when I worked at Detox, I still don't do as well as a regular 12 step because I am being paid. I don't do as well. They know I'm being paid. And because of that, it creates a barrier. That's why I've been trying to get Detox. I'm like, you call the AA hotline. Your success rate's going to go up automatically. You do that because they don't have the money to hire peer support right now. I gave them an outlet. They ain't trying it, but they're going through a lot of stuff right now. I make it sound over. They're hiring executives and a few more managers, so that's the focus right now. So, but we are getting to the rest of that stuff. All right. So when the new center opens, they're going to be calling the AA hotline. I'm like, you don't need to hire peer support. I already have peer support people for you if you need them. And they are legit. They're COPA certified, even though I'm not very happy with COPA at the moment, but oh well, it is what it is. All right. Yeah. And then I know a ton of people that would love to come down and do some service work. A ton. All you got to do is call the AA hotline. People will show up. They will. All right. So what it comes down to is the alcoholic cannot rely upon my assistance. In the beginning, we have got to work on our spiritual malady first. That is the most important thing. The rest will start to fall into place. Even after a few short weeks. Yes, it will. I've seen it happen, and I'm sure I'll watch it again. I'll get to see it happen again. Right? He clamors for this or that, claiming he cannot master alcohol till his material needs are cared for. Nonsense. Nonsense. It is true. It's nonsense. Here we are back to our best ideas that got us where we're at. Okay? Here we are with our best ideas, job or no job, wife or no wife. We simply do not stop drinking so long as we place dependence upon other people ahead of dependence upon God. And it's true. It's been my experience. And it's been the experience of millions of people. I know it's scary. It's scary. Okay. Now, when I got sober at 18, I was in a halfway house for homeless alcoholics. I was 18. The person closest to my age was 34. Do not sit here and tell me you need all of this stuff to get sober. I've met hundreds of Skid Row alcoholics who got sober with no roof over their head. I've seen it happen. Yeah. So it's going to be kind of hard. Although, I got a crying woman on my hands. All that goes away, and then I just have pity. So I have to be careful on how much empathy I let creep in, or I might make a wrong decision because I feel bad for them. That's where that intuition comes in. It's like the brain says, well, we should do this and help them. Your intuition is like, no, that's probably not a good idea. 3 months ago, I went to go help somebody out. I went to go make sure they were alive. And they actually and I went with somebody, and they had the nerve to ask me if I would blow in their breathalyzer so they could get their kids later. And I'm like, and I wanted to. And I'm like, no, I'm not willing to do that. Right. And we were leaving. The person I was with, I'm like, I'm glad you were here because I might have done that. I'm like, see, it's hard. We want to take care. We want this stuff to go away for them and to be better. But if we don't allow them to go through it, then what we are doing is we are actually making it worse for them. That's the hard part. Burn the idea into the consciousness of every man that he can get well regardless of anyone. The only condition is that he trusts God and clean house. Right? Clean the house, do your laundry. That was one of the things I suggested to the new person yesterday, because she's like, I got all this time on my hands. I'm like, you got laundry to do. Do you have laundry? She's like, all my laundry's dirty. I'm like, yeah, I know. You're an alcoholic. Go do your laundry and just do it a load at a time. Don't worry about doing all the laundry. Just get a couple loads done. Right? Claire says, we also don't want people to not like it. Yeah. We want them to trust us, and because we become different people and stuff. I understand that. Absolutely. All right. Before coming to AA, I always had excuses for taking a drink. She said, he said, I got fired yesterday. I got a great job today. No area of my life could be good if I drank again. In sobriety, my life gets better each day. I must always remember not to drink, to trust God, and stay active in AA. Am I putting anything before my sobriety, God, and AA today? Well, you listed 3 things there. All right. What? All right. Oh, okay. All right. Am I putting anything before I'm going to change sobriety to recovery. Recovery, God, and AA today. See, these all go into one thing. My recovery is my number one priority. But my recovery involves a lot of things. It involves my AA meetings, the service work, things like that. But it also involves fellowship. It involves my family, my wife and kids, my mother, my brothers and sisters. Those are all a part of my recovery. Absolutely, they are. All my friends. So all of those are a priority. Keeps me pretty busy. Then I don't have to worry about alcohol. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out. And